Good afternoon, this is Ron Brown. I'm doing this video on September 9th, 2022. It's 1:35 in the afternoon Central Time, and this video is going to be about HGSI or HGS Box Stocks, power techniques. Now, a lot of people seem to like the box stock concept because it gives us a list of stocks that are showing improving earnings growth over various time periods. So I'm going to show you how you can get the most out of these box stocks. So moving on to the next slide, standard risk disclaimer: any stock, index, or ETF mentioned is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you want a free 30-day trial of HGS Investor, just go to highgrowthstock.com and you'll find a link to the trial. Now, the reason I'm doing this on box stocks, because box stocks calculations are unique to HGSI Investor. And box stocks are a concept that Ian Woodward, my former partner, and his group at the Palos Verde Library in California came up with several years ago to find stocks, fundamentally strong stocks, or stocks that have earnings growth, I should say, and concentrate on those rather than just spending a lot of time looking at stocks that really don't have any earnings growth. Okay, so they show consistent earnings growth over time. They're rated box 1 through box 10. Box 1 stocks have the most consistent earnings and are often the leaders. Box 7 stocks earnings are turning around. We call these turnaround stocks. Box stocks are recalculated daily during the fundamental updating process. When you're updating HGSI, it takes a little while to get through the fundamental updating, and it's calculating box stocks among other things. Box stocks will be the base group that I use for all the scans in these videos, and I'm going to do a few videos on this rather than trying to get it all in one video. Okay, now as I mentioned before, these calculations are unique to HGSI Investor. The first step is to install the HGSI box stocks from the add-on list in the newsletter. This installation is for user smart groups. This will create several user smart groups, and these are the groups that are going to be in this box stock group that I'll show you how to do this. So it's going to contain all box stocks, leaders, stocks that have outperformed the S&P over the last 21 days, $75, same as this, except these are $75 or less. These are counter trend stocks, the 3 below the 6. And these are pullback stocks near the 50-day with the fan up. Here's what you need to do. If you're a member of the Insider Club, you're going to have access to member services. And just go down to my Investors Club, go to September 2022, click on the newsletter. That'll bring this newsletter up. And here's the add-on link to update all of the files in your database. But what I'm interested in here is this link to the PDF file for individual user smart group add-on zip files. Just open this up, and every time that you add one, make sure that you download and install my latest filters as an add-on, because what I do when I create smart groups and so on, I generally alter the filters. So you have to have the latest filters so you don't get errors. So just click on that, save as, let's see, downloads. It's just going to say filters, and then after you do that, you'll just go to your preferences menu, install add-ons, and you can see right here that I just downloaded this. And that's all there is to it. Just click on this and the filters will be updated. Very simple to do. After you update the filters, I want you to download this group right here. There are several box stocks groups here. You can see that I've done several of them, but this is the one I want you to concentrate on. Just click on it and save it. HGS Box Stocks, and then just install it the same way that you install the filters. And I'm not going to do it because I already have these in my list of user smart groups. You can see they're right here, and these will be updated every night when you download and update your files. This number will, let me take the filter of 679 securities. This number will vary as stocks come and go out of this, but it's great that they're updated nightly, so that's just an automatic process. Now I want to go back to that sheet. If you don't know what box stocks are, or if you want to review them, there's a help link here. Just click on that and it pulls up this page and it tells how these are calculated. For example, Box 1 stocks. If annual earnings growth for the last 5 years is greater than 50% and the average of the percent earnings growth for the most recent 2 quarters, this is the average compared to the quarters 1 year ago, greater than 100%, then this is a Box 1 stock, and then so on down the list. Now going down here to the Box 7, you can see if it's greater than 15% annual earnings growth for the last 5 years, but less than 25%, but then there is a quarter where it's greater than 100%. These stocks are considered to be turnaround stocks or Box 7 stocks, and a lot of times they'll really take off. Here's a note down here. HGSI does its computation and data displays using GAAP earnings from Zacks, which are highly respected. GAAP earnings are booked or true earnings, not earnings that are stated with exceptions. Okay, so once these are installed, I'm going to bring up a warehouse view. I'm using a larger monitor today because I wanted the screen space, so it won't be quite as sharp when it's compressed, but it will work. And you can see that all 679 stocks are in here. I'm going to bring up a chart, couple of charts. This is a weekly chart. I want a daily chart. I'm down here in my folder. I call it contextual charts, intrinsic setup risk charts. Number 1 I will use because it contains the fan, the 100, the 200, the 100, the 50, the 18, the 3, and the 6. And let me make this full screen so you can see it better. When the 3 is above the 6, this histogram will turn from negative to positive, but you can see the selling pressure was coming off here because this histogram had started turning up. This is the 18, or I'm sorry, the 6 and the 18. It's still negative here, and the 18 is below the 50. This is Cleveland Cliffs. It's moving up today, but you can see the trend is clearly down. Now let's do another chart here. Okay, now this is the weekly chart, and it has the automatic support and resistance lines built into it. This is based upon the zigzag indicator. Now let's take a look at some things that I've put in here. These are my daily prospecting scans right here. I'm going to go through a few of these, but before I do that, and I probably won't do that in this video, I'm going to go down here where you can see the intraday market momentum. Now I put this in a while back, but I decided that I would put in the intraday market momentum up and down for box stocks, and for both up and down for box stocks. So if I click on that, you can see that this is a very strong day because 633 of these box stocks are up and only 41 of them are down. The composite, NASDAQ composite's up 1.93% right now. It's been a little bit stronger than that today, but these box stocks are doing well. Now if I click on this one, it's going to show us all of the box stocks. And what I can do here, if I want to, I can make industry groups out of the box stocks. And it's a very simple matter to do that. You click on the slices, you make sure you're on industry, and then you can see how these are broken down. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll click on this. It'll go under my user groups. Now I can prepend the date, which means there will be a date in front of this, and I think I'll do that so I will know when these industries were created. So if I click on that, it's making industries strictly out of the box stocks. So if I go down to my user groups, HGSI Box Stock Industries, if I click on that, you can see that there are all kinds of groups here. Just click through to a warehouse view, and then I'm going to go up here to my top-down scorecard views for HGSI index analysis. Since these are HGSI indexes, you can see looking up here that there are 137 industry groups in the box stocks folder. Normally there are 174, I believe, or 175, so not every group is represented. If I click down or click on this, since I just built this, I can see where the strength is today: agricultural machines, insurance services, specialty chemicals, and so on. Look at these numbers here. This represents only the indexes that are box stocks, box stock indexes. Now if I go down under scorecard views for HGSI index analysis to number 3, if I'm sorted on raw combo, it tells me the advancing issues versus declining issues. And you can see oil and exploration has 40 advancers, 1 decliner. Semiconductors, 24 advancers, 0 decliners. REITs, 40 and 2, and so on down the list. So remember that these are just box stocks industry groups. If you ever want to rebuild these throughout the day, just like we do the other ones, just go into the designer, select box stock industries, go under tools, rebuild indexes and groups, and it's going to rebuild all of these indexes. Take the filter off. Nothing much will have changed, of course. But that's how you do it. So you can update it anytime you can use this list of industry groups for a week or so, and then build new ones in case any new stocks are represented in the box stocks. So let's just take a look here at the semiconductor devices. You can see there's 24 up and 0 down. If I change to the index group, and I want to clarify this, make sure you use the index group. If I go in there, it shows the 25 stocks that are box stocks. If I go back and if I change to the industry group, there's 64 stocks, but the other stocks are not box stocks, and in this process I'm concentrating only on box stocks. So once again, when you go top down, change to the index group only. Then if you use this same set of views here, you can go down to number 6. These are stocks that are up for the day, and it'll show you the stocks in the semiconductor industry group of HGSI Box Stock industry group, I should say, of stocks that are up and how they're trading today. You can see that the volume is not all that heavy on these, but it's a good market day. Lattice is up 3.60%. They've come off their intraday highs, so there's a little profit taking probably going on now before the day is over. But in review, just go to number 1, gives you the percentage price change for the day, and then if you want to go down into any of these groups, or I'm sorry, go to number 1 or number 3, any of these groups, let's go into integrated oils, go to the index group only. It'll give you the 15 that are box stocks. If you go to the industry group, there will be 3 more. There's 18. But the other 3 are not box stocks. Now, let's go back to the designer, and this group of stocks contains all of the box stocks. Now, why did I want to bother with a smart group when I could just screen in here with regular scans? Because this lets me isolate all the box stocks, and then I can go into my warehouse views and just going to go in here to my number 1 folder, and then I can scan any of these box stocks based upon any of my views and filters. Now let's just go back. Let's go down to number 2. These two just show you all of the stocks in the group. There's end of day, here's intraday, sorted on raw combo, and you can see that Avis is at the top of the list, trading at 100% of its daily range. And if I go over here, I can see that as of yesterday, the 3 was below the 6, and the volume point of control was negative. But if I bring this up today, you can see that the volume point of control is turning green today, and the 3 is just about going through the 6. Let's put it in perspective, though, because this stock is still really beaten down, and mostly in a downtrend. If the 3 does cross up through the 6, still got plenty of overhead resistance on those moving averages. Now, one thing about working from this level in the box stocks, if you go here, you don't have the option to go to the index group because I'm not working with those indexes that I created. I have to go to the industry group, and that's going to give me everything that is in this group, box stocks and non-box stocks. But I can go down here, and let's go to the let's see, I'm looking for the market momentum. Remember, this screen's box stocks only, so even if I go down to the full group and then I apply this momentum up HGSI box stocks, it's going to eliminate all of the stocks that are not box stocks. And you can see that there are several stocks in here that are box stocks. Well, the problem with doing that, though, is I can't go back. So what I have to do is I have to quickly go back here to my box stocks, click on that, and then go back up to my original screen. So let's review that. This is intraday. Now there's another stock on top, Digi Application Software. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, if I change to the industry group, it's going to give me 191 securities. This is application software. It's a big group. But if I scroll down here to folder number 13 and I want the box stocks that are up, I click on that. It cuts it down to 14. So why not just concentrate on the box stocks? Now I bring this stock up. You can see over here on the left that this is a box 1 stock, which has been basing sideways, expansion, contraction, expanded a little bit to the downside, and now it's moving up. Look at the good earnings growth here and the revenue growth. And let me bring that back up. RS is 97. Now if I stay in the intraday market momentum and click on this, it will let me go back then. But if I would have gone back up to the scorecard first, it would not have let me, and then I would have had to go into the designer and access that, which is no big deal because we know exactly where we're going. The box stocks, but we're interested only in stocks that are going up right now. So you can just leave it on the momentum up or momentum down if you're looking for some potential shorts. Or you can just use the up and down and get all of them in here and work from this view. That's probably the best thing to do. Just come in here when you're in the box stocks, and then just, you want to see the number up, 637, the number down, only 35, and up and down, 674. Now, there must be some stocks that are not trading 100,000 shares. That's why there's a discrepancy. 674 versus 679, and I guess we don't want to look at them anyway. Now, another really good purpose for creating this box stock group is I can go in to any of my scans, and I'll do this more in depth on another video, but I can look for stocks, impulse reaction, intraday. These are stocks that or pulled back from the prior day. So here was the scan is applied to this candle right here. It pulled back a little from the prior day, but I can see here that it's going up today. So these have hesitated a little bit. Now let me see if I can find another one. Here's probably a better example. You can see that this high and close were less than the prior day, but it was still a bullish candle, and it was setting up to go. Let's look at one more in here. First Cash Holdings. Here's a better example. It was setting up to go, bullish candle, but it had pulled back from the prior day, and now it is moving up. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these because I want to come back with other videos, but these are bullish crossovers today. If you look on the volume point of control, if you look down this column, you'll see these are all zeros, and you can see that these stocks are all up today. Here was the crossover down here in the lower right on this candle, and it's moving higher. Here is the 3-6 crossover with the VPOC positive. VPOC was positive, and the 3 crossed the 6 yesterday. Okay, 3 and 6 crossover, pocket pivots, 2-day window. You can see there was pocket pivots. If there's not a blue bar here, it means there was an effort to rise candle. I put both of them in the filter, so you can see that this is picking up stocks that crossed over. This is a continuation scan, which means that if the 3 has crossed the 6 more than 2 days ago, and we get a pocket pivot or an effort to rise, it comes up in my continuation scan. So this helps find stocks which have already passed the low risk entry and are going higher. Okay, now these are fan up, counter trend, 3 days. In other words, yesterday the 3 was below the 6, and you can see it's moving now. Do one more. 3 was negative, and it's positive today, so it's looking for pullback stocks. And the next one, Perfect Speculator. These are stocks that he either hit a 52-week high yesterday or an all-time high. These are 52-week high yesterday. These are most active up intraday, so I can find the most active stocks in my box stocks. Let's go down to another view. I'll go down to this 2A view, and you can see that the volume numbers are very strong today on these. Okay, and then high relative volume. Very similar to most active, and in many cases they'll be in both of these. But you can see there's above average volume. And the market leaders, these are market leading stocks which pass my market leading filter. You can see some are up today and some are down. Earnings due dates. You can see if earnings are coming up on any of these stocks. And then I just put this in today, stocks and industry groups intraday. So if I'm trading options, and I trade in-out spreads primarily, if I'm looking for stocks that are optionable, that have weekly options, I've got them all right here. And there are only 56 of them. Now let's take this a little further, and like I said, I'm going to come back and do other videos just to keep this from getting too long. But if you like the undercut and rally scans, these are scans that we're setting up. You can see that they were negative on the 3 was below the 6, and these are all up today. So if I bring up this stock, and if I drop down here to my undercut and rally chart number 4, you can see that this stock was setting up with a couple of VPA flags. Strength seen returning after a downtrend, confirmation of strength, and then today it's going. So you can see that there is a great deal of flexibility with these scans, and we know that we're dealing only with stocks that have consistent earnings growth. That's the whole point of doing this, but this could be your universe. Just sticking with these stocks. And I know a lot of people like to concentrate on box stocks, and that's why I put this video together. Thanks for listening, and I'll be doing some other videos in the future about this.